Blondie, Plastic Letters, right now on States and Kingdoms. Welcome back to States and Kingdoms. Today we're talking about Blondie's album Plastic Letters from 1978. Thoughts?
Parallel Lines was the first album of theirs that we got, and
yeah, we listened to a lot.
You know, I really like that. And then really we got the others pretty fast. And I've never listened to anything but the vinyl, which is it's one of those bands that's not that common. Usually you have the CD first, and then you got the record at some point.
Every record was basically available in all the stores at the time, and they were super cheap, so we just kept buying them.
That's not the price. But
no, they were literally like $2.
Yeah.
They were like $2 each.
They were like $2-3. Now things are like $20, $30, $40 or whatever.
Those are the days.
But anyway, so I don't know when we got this, but we heard this pretty early, and I really, really enjoyed this album. This is where, as songwriters, Jimmy Destri really rides again, and it's got a great keyboard sound. It's you really have them developing their style on this record, and there's some awesome songs. As we said before, the Blondie has a number of songwriters, whether it's Jimmy Destri or Gary Valentine or Chris Stein or Deibbie Harry. It gives them a variety that really does
nice,
come
diverse
through.
Sound. No, I get what you're saying. Even though all the songs written by different people have a very kind of diverse, varied sound, the actual the compositions are varied, but the actual sound of the band is cohesive because you've got the keyboard running through it. The playing all keeps the album really together.
There are definitely rock and roll songs. Rock and roll ballads. There's some faster kind of rock and roll songs that with like a swing.
Yeah.
You could call it, a little bit of like a, almost like a jump bluesiness to it or whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
But there's definitely a development toward a new sort of sound. This, whatever sort of synthesis is going on in Blondie. To me, it's like
it's
done.
Very...
No, I mean here it's really like done. They really have forged their sound. Like totally.
No, I agree. The first album, the first album seems a little not
raw.
Not like searching exactly.
No, it just seems a little bit.
But this is very it's totally solidified. This is what they sound like. All the elements are there.
But it is quite cohesive. Like there is some real variety of styles on here, but it's entirely just Blondie. Mm-hmm. Like this is this is what they sound like.
Well, no one can put over a love song like Deibbie Harry. I love the songs that Blondie does that are as from the standpoint of a true admirer. Mm-hmm. She does that really well.
Mm. Yeah, I agree. But early on the album, I mean, from Fan Mail, which is just very catchy, great vocal performance. And then their cover of, Denis.
Right. Denis.
I think what the next song after that is more surprising. And really that's where I hear reverberations through other music. And specifically, we're talking about Blur last time as well. Bermuda Triangle Blues, Youth Nabbed as a Sniper, those very, very much have a Blur sound. Mm-hmm. I don't know, he's not terribly gabby.
Damon Albarn.
So I don't know how much of an influence if that's just in our heads. But
no, it's in our ears.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it. Love those songs. They really... They sound like what you're expecting, but they always kind of go a little bit further than that. And there are parts of those songs that I just find very very inventive, very clever, and creative. The rest of the album, man, you just have catchy rock and roll songs.
Yeah, there's always a great melody. There's always a great hook.
They continue.
Yeah, really beautiful moments though. With some of the instrumentation, it's really really nice.
Yeah. It's got a great attitude. I mean, song Detroit 442 is awesome.
Yeah, she sings that great. Real edgy.
Just, great rhythm. And And Cautious Slip. Actually, I love that song. I love the rhythm of that as well.
I love how the end speeds up.
Mm-hmm.
It's so cool. I mean, the whole song is great. The whole song has a real like moody atmosphere, and really nice and slow and drawn out. And then like the way it ends is it's just unexpected. It really, like you said, they do. They never do anything that's too predictable. You think the song is gonna go in one direction, and then they do something very unexpected, which keeps it super fresh. And that's their style. That's Blondie.
I thought, when we heard this album, and I just thought they were kind of irresistible, really. I mean, how can you dislike this?
Right.
This is just great, catchy rock and roll.
It's not too weighty. It's fairly lighthearted. There's a little bit of a...
It's also not too simple.
Yeah, of course. No, it's not simplistic at all. But there's a little bit of a tongue-in-cheek nature to some of it. You get the sense that they're a rock and roll band having a good time.
Right. All led by a great personality and singer. I'm not sure what else you would really want. The songs they're clever. They're, even, lyrically, they're not too two-dimensional ever.
No.
There's always a emotion. There's always a story. There's always something, going on.
Yeah, there's absolutely nothing amateurish about them. I mean, not on the first album, and definitely not here at all. They come off confident. There's a real assertive nature to these songs. The playing and everything, and of course,
well, you mean there's
the
like good
vocals.
musicianship?
Totally.
From the beginning.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
They're absolutely competent musicians.
Yeah.
I don't know why anyone would say they weren't. And I'm not saying they didn't.
Did someone say that?
No.
Oh.
I'm just having an argument here with myself.
I'm having a rhetorical conversation.
I'm just over here in my chair talking to myself. Nice haircut. I love Contact and Red Square. I think it's just such a great dynamic song. There's tempo shifts, and I love the way the keyboard comes in and kind of breaks up the song. It's just, interesting compositions and doing different things that, not every band does.
Well, no. No, the keyboard work on this adds a ton, and it really is something that is noticeably, I guess, more developed than from the first album. And I just think it's a great balance on this album, between everything. Because, the keyboard is never taking over. I mean, really, that really never really happened in Blondie anyway. But, it's still just such great guitar, rock and roll and everything. But the keyboards really add a lot. Really, like, perfect. Just really fun to listen to. Like, irresistible. It's kind of hard to talk about. I don't really have anything to say. I mean, the songs are diverse. All of the songwriters, are contributing, and the performances are fantastic. It sounds really good. All the different sort of subject matter of each song, it makes it just so entertaining. And that's what it is. It's so entertaining always. They just great rock and roll that they with great style. Yeah,
they're always just perfect at doing that slight reach back of influences and subjects and things, but then, putting it completely into a future thing, It's not even, it doesn't even feel so contemporary. It's just like they're really doing something new.
Yeah, it feels like, it doesn't feel like a throwback.
They're just not a retro band.
No.
They're not, there's nothing about it that's like what's the word? The bands that were like around in the 70s that, that came out like 50s style, they were like retro, what was it?
Even late 60s, Sha-na-na.
Yeah, like what do they call that?
Well, I don't think...
not nostalgia? Nostalgia band?
But of course no one ever said they were. I mean, that's they just overemphasized their 60s-ness.
This is my alter ego saying they're not a nostalgia band. I know they're not a nostalgia band.
Yeah.
Can you just let me have my conversation, please?
I love Parallel Lines, and these first 3 Blondie records are pretty special to me. This one, I don't know. I just can't really find anything flawed on this at all.
No, it's too good.
I think it's
just fine.
It has such great style, still great, rock and roll. There's nothing, there's nothing, even like disco-y on here or anything like that. This is, you could take this, listen to this album, and it's just great, entertaining music, great rock and roll.
Thank you so much for watching our brief discussion about Blondie and Plastic Letters. Please make sure to let us know what you think of this album in the comments. Please like and subscribe to States and Kingdoms, and we'll see you next time. We got more videos coming up every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.